Some members of the House of Representatives today walk out of plenary as members move to pass a bill to increase the percentage of Ways and Means loans to the federal government. The federal government is pleading to protesters to shun the protesters' lawyer to the organizers, Mr. Ebungolu Adegborua. Today is advocating the reduction of the protest days to 1 day. Hello everyone, welcome to the program. This is Politics Today, live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Wakimaloye here in Abuja. It's the eve of the day. The organizers and the promoters of the End Bad Governance protest says they will go to the streets of Nigeria in protest of the economic and social situations in the country. So today, the Senate held an emergency session ahead of the nationwide hunger and hardship protest slated to begin tomorrow. The meeting was chaired by the President of the Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio. The lawmakers observed a minute silence in honor of the late Senator Ifeanyi Ubah from Anambra State, ahead of the anticipated official notification of his demise from his family to the Senate. The upper chamber afterwards dissolved into a closed-door session. Well, the Senate and the House of Representatives today moved to pass a bill to increase the percentage of Ways and Means loans to the federal government. I mean, that the Central Bank of Nigeria can give to the federal government. The upper chamber raised the credit facility obtainable by the federal government from the Apex Bank from 5% to 10%. Meanwhile, the minority caucus in the House of Representatives won't have all of that, as they think that that's not the right thing to do, as they staged a walkout when the bill was presented before them. The members of the opposition in the Green Chamber staged the protest after lawmakers of the All Progressives Congress APC amended the CBN Act to increase the Ways and Means loans obtainable by the federal government from the Apex Bank. Well, the Ways and Means, of course, we do know that is the Apex Bank's offers of a short-term financing to the federal government to cover its budget shortfalls. A minority leader of the House, Honorable Kingsley Chinda, had objected to the passage of the amendment, stating that it would erode the powers of the National Assembly and give room for too much discretionary power to the CBN. He proposed that it should be reduced to 2% instead of increasing it. Take a listen to the moment when they were upset about the situation and they walked out of plenary.
For discretion, which is not too good for us. And that's why I even think that we should reduce from the 5% that we presently have to 2%, which will make the government more accountable, more prudent in management.
What we are saying is that for the survival of the economy and for us to move on, we need to move away from where we are now, which was abused by the previous CBN, and that we need to move to 15%, which can be subject to amendment. You now want to downgrade again to 2%, which is already below the belt.
A report on a bill for an act to amend the Central Bank of Nigeria Act to increase the Central Bank of Nigeria's total advances to the federal government from 5% to 10%, and for related matters.
Mr. Speaker, this is very unruly.
The report is hereby adopted as a working instrument of the House.
Standing on the aisle,
please.
Chief Whip.
Order! Honorable colleagues.
Order, go. Don't disturb the House. Carry it.
All right, there you have it. The members of the minority or the opposition in the House are visibly angry about the decision of the House taking a walkout of the plenary over the Ways and Means. Well, there's so much more to talk about. The federal government has been talking. And tonight, a lot of people will be asking, what is the role of the state governors? we've been talking about the federal government and in the midst of this conversation on the protest. But then, what are the roles of the governors? We'll be speaking with one of the governors. Of course, the issue of the Dangote refinery controversy also will get our attention. And of course, we'll be looking at all of these in the mix 24 hours or less before the protesters will hit the street. And of course, you know what Mr. Ebwande Borua is saying. He said, look, reduce the days to one day. Counsel the protesters, counsel the government, counsel security operatives. But we'll be bringing you also a news about a planned bomb attack in Lagos. We'll be bringing you details right here on the program. Stick around with me. Let's check out some of your political roundup story first.
Chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission is asking media organizations to report factual and accurately about election and electoral activities in compliance with the ethics of the profession. Professor Mahmoud Yakubu stated this during a consultative meeting with media executives ahead of the Edo and Ondo State off-cycle governorship election in Abuja. He urged journalists to continue to work against fake news, misinformation and disinformation before, during and after the elections. Professor Yakubu notes that the Commission will soon announce a date for the by-election to fill the vacant seat of the 2 members of the House of Representatives who died recently. The People's Democratic Party in Edo State has again raised concerns over the neutrality of the Nigerian police, as it insists that the police are taking sides with the All Progressives Congress ahead of the September 21st governorship poll in Edo State. The Director General of the Asue Godalo Osarodia Ogie campaign organization, Mr. Matthew Idoyaokenwe, and the Deputy Director General Media, Olu Martins, made the allegations at the campaign office in Benin City, the Edo State capital. Some of the allegations include intimidation and arrest of PDP leaders over similar or even worse comments by the APC.
Members of the APC have been boasting to high heavens that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu had promised in a widely circulated video online to gift, take note of that, to gift Edo State to them.
River State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has urged the residents of the state to refrain from participating in the planned protest set to commence tomorrow nationwide. Governor Fubara gave the advice during a meeting with members of the civil society organization at the Government House in Port Harcourt. While acknowledging the right to protest, Governor Fubara says this is not the appropriate time for such actions in the state.
Our property will be destroyed. Our economy will be destroyed. And when they finish, they will go back. Look at what happened in Kenya. It will take them another 20 years to rebuild those things that have been destroyed.
The Nasarawa State All Progressives Congress has appealed to the youth to shun the planned nationwide protest in the state. The chairman of the party, Mr. Aliu Bello, made the appeal during a press conference in Lafia, the state capital. A federal high court sitting in Port Harcourt has ruled that the state chapter of the PDP has the right to appoint legal counsel for themselves without interference from the national legal advisor of the party. This followed the suit brought before the presiding judge, Justice Mohammed Obile, by the national legal advisor of the PDP, challenging the authority of the state legal advisor of the PDP in River State to appoint legal representation in a case filed by the party seeking to declare the seats of Martin Amewule and the 27 members of the State House of Assembly vacant following their defection to the APC. In his ruling, however, Justice Obile held that the national legal advisor of the party, Mr. Kamaldeen Ajibade, has no authority to challenge the appointment of state legal advisor Joshua Musa to represent the party in the case.
Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. Well, let's tell you that members of the President Bola Tinubu cabinet are again pleading with the organizers of the planned protest to shelve their plans. Today, they held an engagement with the public in a press conference. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, called on Nigerians not to embark on a planned nationwide protest amid the economic crisis in the land. Take a listen to them.
Nigeria is work in progress, and in due course, we shall breathe a sigh of relief. The ongoing economic hardships, and they are improving, and anyway, would abate very soon, and we shall all enjoy endless prosperity. We therefore appeal to Nigerians of whatever persuasion, belief, demography, gender, and status to shun cause for protests against hunger by prioritizing peace and progress.
What we need as a nation is to allow these economic reforms and various interventions to mature through the gestation period into reality. And Nigeria will never be the same again. Nigeria will never regress again. Nigeria will be put on a solid economic platform for this and future generations.
Well, you heard some members of the Bola Tinubu cabinet, and of course, they are bearing their minds. But the question will be that what are the plans of the protesters? Mr. Ebun Oluwadegborora, one of the lawyers to some of the organizers of the protests that come out to counsel the police, security agencies, the protesters, and the government. And one of the things that he has said that came out of the statement he released earlier today is the fact that those who are planning the protest should reduce it from the 10 days they planned initially to 1 day. But a lot of people have been talking about the federal government, the decision, the stance of the federal government. What about the state government? Let's speak with one of the governors tonight. I'm being joined by the governor of Nasarawa State, His Excellency Governor Abdullahi Sule, who joins us virtually from Lafia, the capital of Nasarawa. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for joining us tonight.
Thank you very much, Sheon. We miss you. I'm happy to see you back. We miss you.
Thank you so much. It's good to be back. Amid all of this pressure, so much has been said about the federal government. But there are a lot of people who also think the state government's roles are even greater than that of the federal government. If there is hunger in the land and accusing fingers are being pointed at the federal government, one of the 5 fingers could be pointed at the federal government, but the rest of the fingers will be at the state government. What are you and your colleagues doing in the midst of it? It's a federation. We have 36 states and the FCT. We only have one federal government.
Well, that is what democracy is all about, Sheon. But this is not the period for blame game. This is a period actually for Nigeria to work. As far as we are concerned, we as state governors, I don't think we are interested in any blame game. Every state governor at the moment is doing everything possible within their own means, to ensure that you improve the welfare of the people, you improve the infrastructure of the state, you improve the revenue of the state, and that's what all of us are doing. If you come to Nasarawa State, you will see tremendous, it is no longer the same state that we used to have. A lot of things have taken place. A lot of things have happened. We are making a lot of investment in agriculture. Today, we are developing almost 5,000 hectares of land producing rice. We are employing people in those kind of areas. We are building infrastructure as far as roads are concerned everywhere. We are improving the payments, to all the various pensioners, gratuities that are going in place. We are improving the welfare of the workers, and everything everybody is touching one thing after another, and just tomorrow we are going to commence, we were paying the what they call Sule, which means money that we pay to the vulnerable. About 6,000 of them every month. They give some money. Now, tomorrow, we are going to increase the amount, which is what we are going to start paying. So, and every time I watch and we go to meetings of the various governors, you will see one thing happening here and there. But I think each time people begin to demarcate and say, governors have done this, governors have done that, it's just a period, of blame game that people are used to having. The governors are very happy that the local government council have their autonomy. For us in Nasarawa, we are the happiest people that they do, so that they can try it and people actually can see. Because I have always said here in Nasarawa State, since June 2019, when I came in, I had not seen 1 naira of the local government council. They have their JAC meetings. I'm not part of it. They decide what to do. I'm not part of their decision. At the end of the day, they disburse. But I think people will not believe that until now we have the autonomy. So now that we have the autonomy, they can go ahead and implement, and I think nobody will blame any governor again. So that's what you go through, Sheon, and I think that's what democracy is all about. When you want to lead, you have to get ready for criticism, right or wrong. That's the name of the game.
No, so the question now is there is a local government autonomy, and there are those who will say if the governors are being also up and doing and the federating units are working, the federal government wouldn't have been blamed. It is not an economy of the federal government. It's the economy of Nigeria, the federal government of Nigeria, and its federating units, which means we're talking about 37 different governments and the federal government. And there are the question as to, there are now increased revenue going to the state. What are you and your colleagues doing with those revenue? There are increased money going into the coffers of the state. What are you doing to alleviate the poverty and the spending power of the average citizen? Can you, on behalf of your colleagues tonight, tell Nigerians that the leaders of this country now understand the pains of Nigerians in terms of the way they live their lives, in terms of the spending to embellish government and their officials, to make Nigerians feel that this is a government for the people and not government that the people are serving, instead of the government serving the people of the country?
Well, that's what I have told you earlier, Sheun. Maybe I need to repeat. There is no state in the Federation that I know when we go to our meetings that you will hear that has not improved the welfare of the staff, of the workers. No state whatsoever. I have also told you so many other things we do. Today in Nasarawa State, every time we give a certain contract, nearly every week we have one rural road that we have built that we are commissioning or the other. Nearly every week, if you go to it, we have one hospital or one clinic or one school that we have built that we are working on. There are bridges that we are building for people that have not. Every time that there is an issue with the people, we have paid more gratuity because of the improved revenue that we have at the moment. There is no contractor we are owing. We are not owing workers' salaries. We are not owing pensions. Instead, we are paying gratuity. Nasarawa State, just because of the improved revenue, we decided to select all the gratuities of workers. From 1996, when the state was created, to 2010, we have paid 100% of their gratuities. They have been paid. Now we are looking at 2011. Just last week, we approved another 1 billion to be given to them. In the next 1 week, we are approving another 1 billion to be given to them, so that gratuities of people, some of them have died, but at least some of their people can actually. We are doing all this not for anything but to improve the economy of the state and the circulation of resources. That way, people will be able to have money in their hands to do that. We have bought vehicles, in form of buses, that we have reduced the cost of transportation. We have given houses to the workers. All the workers who are in those kind of houses on owner-occupier basis. We couldn't do all these things if not for the revenue that has improved. Every now and then you turn around, we are given one sort of palliative. Federal government is given their own, we are given our own from the state level. All that in order to reduce, we are not even selling rice at a lower price. We are given the rice free. To some of these people. This is what is happening. And I talk more about Nasarawa State, but nearly when we go to meetings, you will hear that every state or the other is doing one thing or the other continuously. Nasarawa State, when I came in 2019, we had not yet paid the counterpart funding for UBEP for 2016. So we went ahead and cleared the 2016 to 2019. Today, as I'm talking to you, we have paid 2023. So all the schools that needed to be built are being built. We wouldn't be doing that if not for the improved revenue. So I can go on and on and on. If you come to Life here today, you see a different city altogether. It is no longer the Life here that you used to have. Why? Because of the improved revenue. And we're not borrowing money, by the way. Everything you see we are doing at the moment is not because we are borrowing. We are not borrowing a penny from any bank. As a matter of fact, we paid out some of the monies. Recently, because Nasarawa State, before we came, between 2013 and 2019, had taken some monies in form of ECA or so, amounting to about 57 billion. After working the programs that we have had, Nasarawa State decided that our own money that was going to come should be withheld. That way, Nasarawa State had paid the 57 billion debt completely. All these are monies that are going around, Sheun. So it is not like the revenues are coming and somebody is sitting on it. No, we are working with the money and it's being seen by those. But sometimes you have some of those politicians who sit only in Abuja. They don't go anywhere. They don't know anything going on. And then you just, boom, they give you a story. They should go to some of these places and see what is happening. Let them come and see. Lafia is very close to them. It's only 2 hours. I challenge them, come and see the Lafia that they knew just 1 year ago and the Lafia that we have today. Those are the challenges are shown.
Now, the question will be, are you worried, Governor Sule, that more and more the Nigerian people are getting more agitated and aware about the situation of things, and perhaps we are moving and pushing the government or the rulers or the leaders of this country need to now be more sensitive to the plight of the people, and perhaps there is a push of the people to the very brink, and perhaps if care is not taken, based on what the situation is, the federal government will say the Tinubu government is doing a lot. And the fact is that whatever effort they are making, we're going to go through a rough patch before we start experiencing the benefit of this government's effort. But the question is that realization dawning on the leaders of this country that the people are no longer ready to be taken for granted?
No, what is happening is that most of the time people are looking at some of the very hard decisions that Mr. President has taken, because that is his own style of trying to take very difficult decisions. And the 2 decisions taken that are bringing some of this economic reform that you are talking about. 1 is, of course, about the subsidy that has been removed. 2 is concerning about the unification of the FX. These are the 2 major issues that people keep complaining about. And I have had this funny statement all the time. Where is the money for it? Where is the money? The money is there, is being given to the various places, given to the various states, coming to the people in different ways. And that's why I just gave you the example of what we are doing. And I have not mentioned 50% of what we are doing. So these are the things that are going to happen. Yes, there is going to be difficulty, but I think instead of just looking at the federal government, let the people hold every state governor. What are you doing with the improved revenue that you are doing? You are getting. What is that? And let every state come out and say, okay, we are doing this, we are doing that, we are doing this. Instead of President Tinubu cannot go and, he doesn't have land anywhere. The lands belong to the states. So he can't go and do agriculture anywhere, for instance. He is not going to the construction of the federal highways. Okay, they have already started, the one from Badagry to Calabar. And recently we had the stakeholders meeting, the one from Calabar coming to Abuja through some of our own states, and the one going from Badagry all the way to Sokoto. And then you have so many of them more. So federal government will continue to do its own part. They are doing the students' loans, they are doing this, they are doing that, but the states are where the impact is. And when you talk about the improvement of the states, it's the same with the local government. The same revenue that the states have seen improvement is the same the local government have seen improvement in their revenue. The local government in Nasarawa State, when they are getting their own after the FAC meetings, they are now getting 100% increase. They used to get about 2-point-something billion. Today, they are getting 4-point-something billion. Today, the local government in Nasarawa State are not owing anybody any salary, and they are not paying in percentages. That is one. 2, they have some savings, for God's sake. In the past, they never had anything like savings. Today, they had savings. So anytime issues come up like this minimum wage, they can go to their savings and say, all right, from our savings, we can do this, we can do that, we can do this. In the past, they couldn't do that. These are the issues. But when you dig down into the states to know what the states are doing, that's when you will know. But when you just put a blanket, okay, federal government, economy is not good, economy is not, okay, which economy? What is going on in the economy? I wish people will take it professionally and say, all right, Mr. President, what is our power generation today? 5,000 megawatts. What did you get? How are you going to improve it? Are we going to get 10,000 megawatts, 15,000 megawatts by the time you finish? Mr. President, what is the oil production today? 1.3, 1.4 million barrels. Mr. President, why are we not getting what Nigeria is capable of producing, which is 3 million barrels a day? Why can't we get that, Mr. President? These are where people will engage the federal government and then get some answers, but not in the area, of saying that, okay, there is economy. Okay, right now the federal government, for instance, said there is going to be rice, even though in Nasarawa we have not yet received the rice. They are saying that there is going to be 20 trucks of rice that everybody is getting. You know, the moment we get it, but for us, whether we receive that or not, we have a responsibility to our own people. You know, so we have been taking care of our people with or without the rice coming from the federal government. Federal government gave us fertilizer. We got 65 trucks. I went around the state by myself distributing the fertilizers. But I tell you a joke now. Some of the same people you are trying to help are the people also cheating you on the distribution of the fertilizer. Somebody that is supposed to get one bag will steal another one bag to go. Somebody that's supposed to give some other people is stealing to sell. You know, so we will also have the followers problems. But we are just looking at leaders. You know, that is the issue, Seun.
All right. We'll take a moment now, but let's bring some of these stories just coming in for you. From Lagos, there is being a foiled IED attack in Lagos at about 4 p.m., 1600 hours. The police are telling us that a police officer reported at EOD CBRN base at Ikeja that while he was on his way along Mobolaji Bank Anthony Way in Ikeja, he sighted an unregistered white Corolla car that parked on the main road close to the gate of the PMF23 Barracks Mobolaji Bank Anthony Way, Ikeja, and that a young man alighted from the car, carefully dropped a bag by the side of the Nigeria Customs Service Federal Operations Unit fence, returning to the vehicle and zoomed off. Based on the report, a team of EOD CBRN from the base was quickly mobilized to the scene to identify the object and render same safe. And if confirmed to be IED on arrival, it was discovered to be IED. Subsequently, the area was cordoned off. An SOP adopted, IED rendered safe, and thereafter taken to a safe distance for detonation. Accordingly, the residual of the IED collected for further analysis and investigation area is calm. The story coming from the Nigerian police force that there has been a foiled bomb attack around the barrack area, around the customs area, dropped at the beside the fence of the customs in Lagos area in Ikeja. So we'll bring you more on these on Channels Television. Stay with us, everyone. We'll be right on break. I'll be back with our conversation with Governor Abdullahi Sule.
In the heart of our great nation lies the strength and resilience of its people. We have faced challenges, and yet we stand tall. Our spirit remains unbroken. But let us remember the lessons of our past. The EndSARS protests, which began with hope, turned to despair when chaos took over. Yielding to calls for rage and street demonstration may lead us down a path we do not wish to tread again. We must protect our future. The Tinubu administration is listening. Your voices matter and your concerns are heard. Times are tough, but like the pains of childbirth, there is joy in the end. Together, we can build a brighter future. Let us join hands in unity, support our government, and work towards the success of our nation. For the love of Nigeria, let's move forward together.
This message is brought to you by The Conscience Nigeria.
Like beans and rice. I will never leave your side. I will never ever. I dedicate my time forever. Time to you, my people. Even if the road be rough, I know mine. 'Cause together we shall stand.
My people, make we all come out on election day and vote Olumide Osaigbabo Akpata, Una guy, as governor of Edo State. He ready to change our story and bring better life for we and our pikin them. Vote Labour Party, the party for Papa, Mama and pikin. Make we vote well, oh, Oludi, confirm. Now you be our guy. Labour Party, forward ever.
Olumide Akpata.
It's It is new, it is unique and of international standard. Maduka University. Maduka University, a modern university of international standard with modern facilities for learning, committed to training entrepreneurs across different fields of human endeavor, offers admission to students in different courses such as law, accounting, medical lab science,
cyber security, mechatronics,
mass communication, nursing, pharmacy, ICT, computer engineering, civil engineering, JUBE program, and a lot more. Maduka University is located in an environment of serenity, safety, and security at Ekwebe, Nsukka, Enugu State. For more inquiry, visit our website, madukauniversity.edu.ng, or call 0805-509-1802 or 0915-789-3107. Maduka University, the place for the transformation you seek.
In the heart of our great nation lies the strength and resilience of its people. We have faced challenges, and yet we stand tall. Our spirit remains unbroken. But let us remember the lessons of our past. The End SARS protests, which began with hope, turned to despair when chaos took over. Yielding to calls for rage and street demonstration may lead us down a path we do not wish to tread again. We must protect our future. The Tinubu administration is listening. Your voices matter and your concerns are heard. Times are tough, but like the pains of childbirth, there is joy in the end. Together, we can build a brighter future. Let us join hands in unity, support our government, and work towards the success of our nation. For the love of Nigeria, let's move forward together.
This message is brought to you by The Conscience Nigeria.
The Duchess International Hospital caters to every aspect of the family's health needs. A one-stop shop for maternity and child health services, emergency medicine and critical care, medical and surgical subspecialties, dental and eye care, and a range of other subspecialties and services, all available at a single location right here in the heart of Ikeja. And it really doesn't matter if you're paying out of pocket using your HMO or private insurance. We focus completely on providing that world-class affordable healthcare for all the family at all times.
I'm a scholarship student of Philomath University. I was uncertain when I first arrived, but Philomath University welcomed me with open arms.
Hi, I'm Maya, a law student at Philomath University. From day one, the law program has challenged me. Professors here push us to think critically and argue persuasively.
Hands-on learning experience is amazing. Philomath is where I belong.
Philomath University, where your story begins.
The Senate Committee on Constitution Review, as part of its effort to review and reform the Constitution in line with the powers of legislature, as Sections 4, 8 and 9 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999, seeks inputs from relevant stakeholders to submit memoranda and proposals outlining thoughts, ideas and recommendations for further alterations of the 1999 Constitution on any matter that will promote good governance and welfare of all Nigerians and ensure that the Constitution reflects the aspirations of all values of the Nigerian people. Submission guidelines. 2 hard copies of all memoranda and proposals are to be submitted to the committee secretariat in room 3.8, Senate Wing, White House, National Assembly Complex, Abuja. Soft copies can also be sent electronically to info@sscr.gov.ng. All submissions should be received on or before 31st August 2024. Please note, memoranda and proposals should be concise, clear and specific. Signed, Senator Barrow Jibrin, Deputy President of the Senate and Chairman of the Senate Committee on Constitution Review.
In the heart of our great nation lies the strength and resilience of its people. We have faced challenges, and yet we stand tall. Our spirit remains unbroken. But let us remember the lessons of our past. The End SARS protests, which began with hope, turned to despair when chaos took over. Yielding to calls for rage and street demonstration may lead us down a path we do not wish to tread again. We must protect our future. The Tinubu administration is listening. Your voices matter and your concerns are heard. Times are tough, but like the pains of childbirth, there is joy in the end. Together, we can build a brighter future. Let us join hands in unity, support our government, and work towards the success of our nation. For the love of Nigeria, let's move forward together.
This message is brought to you by The Conscience Nigeria.
Thanks so much, everyone. We told you earlier that the Nigerian police force has told us that there was a foiled IED attack around the customs area in Ikeja, and the investigations are now on to analyze the residue of the IED collected for further analyses. There is as much that we know now. Much, of course, will be on Channels Television's website and at the top of the hour on our newscast. Now, let's get back to a conversation with Governor Abdullahi Sule. If you can tell us, these Dangote refinery issue, but now we've heard that the federal government has issued an order saying that crude should be sold to the Dangote refineries and other refineries and be sold in Nigeria Naira. That is going to be a first to the ears a lot of people who have been monitoring that sector for a long time. But you know Dangote very well. You are a member of the APC. You're a leader of the APC. A lot of people have been wondering, what exactly is this controversy between the federal government and perhaps Nigeria's #1 industrialist?
Well, what happened is very unfortunate, very sad, completely unnecessary and uncalled for. But I would like to use this opportunity because just last night I was together with Alhaji Aliko Dangote, GCON, in his house in Lagos before I got back to life here today. So I think the first is to show great appreciation to Mr. President and the federal government as well as NNPC for taking this decision, at least to feed that refinery with feedstock. The refinery must work for Nigeria, not for Dangote, for Nigeria as a matter of fact. Yes, it's a business, but the 20 billion naira investment in that refinery is the biggest investment anywhere today in Africa. And for that reason, Nigeria, we are lucky to have that, and we should not play around with it. And I see the picture that we just took last night, actually, that you are showing. And that's the refinery as at last night. So this is exactly the reason why I feel very strongly that what the federal government or what whoever from NNPC had said was uncalled for. And the biggest of them all, I was actually in India when somebody told me, the biggest of them all is the unfortunate statement that the refinery was incomplete, was not completed, was only 45% completed. I just laughed when I heard that. Because on the day of the commissioning of this refinery, I offered the opening prayers. And it was the former President Buhari that commissioned that refinery. Let me tell you something, because from a technical point of view, if only all the equipment of that particular refinery were taken to, Ekpe and kept at that free zone, all the equipment without installing any one of them, that's already over 50% of the job done. If you know the amount of work that was done for the reclamation of the land first, to the generation of the power, that refinery does not rely on Nigeria for power. It's generating 435 megawatts of power of its own. That refinery is one of the most friendly, environmentally friendly refinery that you can have. They have 2 effluent systems, in order to treat most of the waste that is there. That refinery has a distillation unit, which is the tallest of any refinery that you can think of. And I'm not just saying that, I'm saying that from experience as an engineer who worked on refineries in Pasadena, Texas, in Deer Park, Texas, and actually was part of the building of the KCL, Deer Park refinery in the year 1993, 94. So I'm not saying it just because of what I read. I'm saying it based on the fact that I work on refineries. We build refineries, and this is one of the best that there is because of new technology. Technology is improving every day. So that is the reason why. So it was completely unfortunate, but at the end of the day, the does
as you raised an allegation, is visibly upset about the situation. It does look like something is going wrong. Perhaps with some elements in the government and Mr. Dangote, what exactly is going on? There seems to be some politics here that is affecting the economy of the Dangote refinery.
That's what I'm saying, that it's unnecessary and it's uncalled for. And that refinery should not be used as part of the refineries, as part of any kind of project that we should introduce politics. When I just got back from China, in China, we visited a company actually called CATL. CATL is the biggest producer of batteries. They actually sell, they are number one in the world. They produce and sell 40% of the world batteries. The government of India has decided to take majority ownership of that company. So it's something that if you go to Sinoma, the Sinoma you are hearing that is there, the government of China has taken majority shareholding in there because those are the companies that must survive. So the refinery must survive. We should take politics out of it. I refuse to say anything about the refineries in the past because people will not misunderstand that I'm talking professionally, that I'm talking maybe because I was former MD, former group managing director in Dangote. Probably that's what I'm saying, that I'm talking not as a politician, not as a governor. I'm talking to you as a professional who has worked in refineries.
But going forward, Governor, as form of your final word, what do you think should be done to ensure that for the interest of the Nigerian people, that has been portrayed that Mr. Dangote is not monopolizing the sector and that there is fairness within the sector and that he gets what he's supposed to get and there is fair play within the sector? Going forward, what do you think should be done? Just in about 30 seconds, if you may.
Good. I can address that, but I must address this topic of monopoly. NNPC had 3 refineries, actually 4, but in three different places, comprising of 445,000 barrels per day. Nobody else had a refinery. Was that a monopoly? Has Dangote said nobody else should build a refinery? If somebody today has money to build bigger than that refinery, can Dangote stop it? So the question of this this is some politics, some people actually with their own reason. But going back to your question, what should be done? I think what should be done, they have already started doing that. Number one, to ensure that that refinery receives the feedstock so that the refinery will have sufficient product to sell in Nigeria. And if they are selling to the refinery in Naira, well, the refinery also should sell in Naira. So Nigerians will be the biggest beneficiaries of that. The government will pay, and then the Nigerian people also will take it. So I think what needs to be done is already going on and is being done.
All right. Governor Abdullahi Sule, the Executive Governor of Nasarawa State, thank you so much, as always, for your time with us tonight.
Thank you so much, and once more, you're welcome back.
Thank you so much indeed. Appreciate it. Let's now turn our attention now back to the protest, and I'm being joined by a former member of the House of Representatives, popularly called Congressman, Honorable Bimbo Daramola. Thank you so much, Congressman, for joining us tonight.
Thank you very much. Let me join Governor Sule to welcome you. And
thank you so much.
To describe you as the jewel of broadcasting in Nigeria.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. It's an honor to serve the Nigerian people through my profession. Are you worried about the agitation in the land?
Well, yes, to the extent that if things go south, the consequences may be far-reaching. And we've seen that instance before. And that's one road we don't want to walk anymore. And let me insulate my objectivity by saying that I'm not speaking to you tonight as just a member of APC or a partisan fellow. I'm speaking to you as a Nigerian, a compatriot, just like yourself. I've seen a couple of the comments you made, and those comments are from the belly, from your heart. And I share those sentiments. But the truth of the matter is that there are people that we need to bring them up to speed to understand that we could get to a situation where things become unmanageable. And if we get to that situation, things will be worse. Okay, for all of those guys who have cited the Kenya example, is Kenya actually better for it today?
Is it?
Is it? It's not. You have advocated that President Ruto should sack this, take the office of First Lady away, and he has said all of that. But how does that repair the shops of those guys who got vandalized? Some of them may never be able to find their beat again. And I'm saying this to you. I want Nigerians to know, particularly the young friends of mine. Everybody knows that I'm very youth-centric. I relate with them like there. So I am saying, I posted something on my Facebook today, and I'm saying that there's the vocal minority. And some of those people who claim to be leaders of this agitation, well-intentioned maybe, assuming without considering that those are well-intentioned motives, but they're going to return to their homes after those protests. And then some people are going to be left on the streets. They don't even have anywhere to go. And then what is the reason behind having to stretch a protest that you're going to be communicating what everybody already knows?
No, the question is...
Hang on a second. The president and this administration have said it severally, and I'm not speaking for him. I've been out of government since 2015, and that's not the point here. I am saying that I'm speaking objectively. The president at several times had admitted that there are challenges, and people are working from the back end to see how things work.
But are Nigerian people, are they getting the communication of what is being done?
Again, I have profiled an excuse to that. When we were looking for votes, we knew where these guys were. We went all the way to the nooks and crannies. Why are we relying on social media and regular information channels to talk to people today? Why don't you go back to them and let them say, bring them up to speed?
So there is a disconnect.
Oh, absolutely. I think there's a gap.
We need to learn lessons, actually. Right. So if, for example, the Nigerian people are agitated and they say they will do a 10-day of rage.
Okay.
To be on the street and tell government that people are hungry, and the federal government is gone all out to say, here is what we are doing. The ministers, all of them, went on the stage. But is there a lesson here?
Oh, absolutely.
Especially on the side of the government.
Absolutely. People now know, I am too sure the guys in government now know that, man, Nigerians are not playing. Particularly the young people.
Should we get to that point?
We shouldn't have gotten to that point. But then, if this is the trigger that we need to get up to that point for more rigorous engagement, by all means, this idea of calling for a protest has achieved the results. And today you see flurry of activities and all of that. But beyond all of those things that you've seen on television, on social media, on platforms and all of that, we need to go back and put ourselves in the faces of the people. WhatsApp platform does not have emotions. Instagram does not have emotions. We need to see the guys that we elected or appointed to positions and say, hey, this is, after all, it will seem like we sent them on an errand. And so you cannot rely on proxies to, not that the president who has appointed people and delegated functions to them, also will expect that you should communicate. Some of the things I see and I hear today, don't forget that the attention span of the young people is like that. And so we need to put it in their faces, smack in their faces, and say, okay, fine. Talking about credit scheme that the president just introduced. You're not going to see the trickle-down effect in 1 month. And I don't believe in palliatives, but it is what it is. But look at that intervention with student loans. I gave 2,050 JAM forms to people, and I know what 7,000 could do in the lives of people. A whole lot of people who couldn't get into the university because of 7,000 or 8,500 naira back then when I was in the parliament. Today, president makes it easy for minimum of, by the last count I had, about 30 million people who could access those loans and then take a cue from that and then find their path in life.
So are you defending this comment to say what you have seen so far is commensurate to the promises they made? And in fact, in the last 1 year, there is some motion with some effect. Is that what you're saying?
Well, yeah, legitimately so, yes. And I'm going to say that in a context. You know, if we keep parroting, oh, we met this, we met that, that may be true. But the truth of the matter is that the reason why we're saying that we wanted a candidate, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed, to be our president is because we also trust him to be able to fix it. But guess what? There's nobody out of all of them who went to that elections who has a magic wand. Some of these things can't be, and I'm not begging the issue. The fact is that if President Bola Ahmed has said, everybody go to the farm from day one, do you think we'll still have farm produce enough to feed 220 million people today?
You have the opinion that things will get better. You think that we're on the right track?
Now, this is the catch for me. I don't think Ashwaju will have fought, and I've been on his train, I've been with him for 28 years, and I'm saying that would all of those years of struggle now just thrown to the bin like that, now that he's in the seat, in the saddle? No, now. He's going to be seeing himself every day, and something's going to be playing, oh, I did this. When there was crisis in Ekiti, when there was crisis in Osun, when there was crisis in Edo, when there was crisis in Bafarawa State, even in the eastern part. And I spearheaded that, and I got people back to say, no, we got to fix this country. Now that I have an opportunity, it's incumbent on him to make sure that things work.
Sad, time is not our friend tonight. But just in a few seconds, if you may, your closing remark. In a few hours, the protesters said they will hit the street. Olu said, reduce it to 1 day.
Exactly.
What would be your own counsel as we close?
I'm happy that Ebu Adegorua SAN has said that, because there's nothing you're going to be saying for 10 days. Imagine people who eat livelihood, who live by the shoestring. What are they going to live on? So I reckon and I hope that our people who also have leadership responsibilities must realize that we don't want this country to go down. And it could. We only just saw something that is unsettling there. The IED reported. Somebody must have done that. Isn't that unsettling? For how long are we going to do this? And then we keep cherry picking and picking stuff that, no, we got to do something about this. And every person of good faith and conscience should come at this time and stand by Nigeria. By all means, people should ventilate their frustration. They should express themselves. But we are saying that within that, we must also be conscious of the fact that we have an obligation to a nation called Nigeria.
Congressman, thank you so much indeed. Honorable Bimbo Daramola, a former member of the House of Representatives. Thank you so much for your thoughts. Always refreshing to hear from you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. But that's our show tonight. Well, if you are getting your water bottles ready, don't get more than that for tomorrow if you're going to hit the street, because yield the warning. Things are critical and things are a bit tense at the moment. If you're going to protest peacefully. If you're going to be at home and let's pray and work together for the betterment of this country. This nation, I believe, will be great. I'm Seun Okimale, and I'm a fervent believer in a great Nigeria. Have a wonderful evening, everyone.